green and started racing. He goes, my car got better every lap.
Yeah.
And honestly, it would have been between him and Dybel. And
right.
Dan Dybel experienced some bad luck in the Super Sport car. Had to pull on the safety road.
In the charity car.
Right, the charity car is earning the money, yep. He had some unfortunate circumstances, had to pull off the track, and that left Chris Mott by himself.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't anybody out there that had anything for that 16 car.
Yeah, it was good racing. Well,
it was
good
class,
for Chris.
Well, yeah, but the Super Sport class put on a pretty good show.
They did.
There were some guys that were going, Randy Barley finished 4th, and we saw, Gil Pickett was there.
I haven't seen Gil in quite a while.
Legend driver there in the 82. He was there. He kind of had a tough night. We saw some good fast cars. Clay Devin was out there at the 84.
Right.
He's the one that caught the spring in the front end of.
Right. I saw a picture on Facebook where it hit his hood. Yeah. Good thing it didn't come into his face.
No kidding. Because those cars, those Super Sport cars, they were hooked up.
Yeah.
They were moving.
They were.
So a great job by Chris Mott to pick up his first win. Of 2017.
He could have started in the back and still taken that.
I think his car was working that good.
It was.
I think
he had to set up for the light rain.
Whatever, yeah. Well, and that's what he said. He said the car, they raced that feature. Most of it was in the sprinkling.
It was. It was just a light mist, but yeah.
It wasn't raining, but,
right.
I think that's why the track was so fast, because it kept that moisture in there.
Yep.
And he says his car got better lap after lap. He goes, I couldn't believe.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, he goes, I couldn't believe it.
That's got to be fun for him.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So he was having a good time, and if that car works that good all year, we might have been wrong on a Super Sport predictions. But Brian Winkler, he was right there in the 88. He was another guy that was just wicked fast, and I think had they had a late caution, it might have been. It could have been different. It would have been, because Winkler was actually, and that was the thing, was once Winkler kind of got up to that second spot, because I believe he finished second.
I believe so. He's always so much fun to watch.
Yeah,
he is.
Watching him come through the field.
Yeah.
But the thing about it was, once he got out and there was no caution, they're all going the same speed. Nobody can catch anybody.
Right.
That was kind of the big thing. So had there been a late caution for Winkler to take a shot at Chris Mott might have had a race on his hands.
Maybe.
But he was up front just kind of cruising.
He was.
I mean, it was his race. And
like you said, he was in his own zip code. He was gone.
And then the sportsman cars, we had a great race in the feature for the sportsman cars, and Jeff Titus in the 5 battled it out with the 25 of James Slover. Remember this?
Yeah.
Remember the wheelies that Slover was pulling down?
You know what? Slover's car has always done that. It is so rigid. I remember watching him last year. It was consistent every race. That left front is always in the air going down straightaways.
Yeah, I don't know how he drives that thing.
It's crazy.
I don't know how he sees
3 wheels are better than 4 in his case.
Well, I guess. But I think it's ultimately is what cost him the race was that setup, because Titus was able to get underneath him. Because I noticed when Slover's car does that, and he was, again, the track was really hooked up, his car gets kind of tight.
Yeah, it does.
When it lifts up like that, his car kind of gets tight right there at the apex, and that's kind of where Titus made his move. He kind of caught him and reeled him in and ran with him for a couple laps, watched what he was doing, set him up, got underneath him, took the line away, and went to the front. And I do believe that is the first career feature win for Jeff Titus at Willamette Speedway.
Is it?
Yeah, and he's running that asphalt style body in the sportsman car.
Oh, the old Portland late model body.
Yeah, the old number 5 car.
Yep.
A great run for him, but him and Slover put on a great race.
They did.
In the race.
Hats off to Titus. Congratulations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the race behind those guys, the sportsman cars were doing it. There was guys that we saw at one point. We saw those guys go 3 wide all the way through turns 1 and 2.
Right. Yeah.
That was fun. But Titus really displayed. And again, this is not a guy that I know a lot about. Just started showing up. I think he showed up a couple times last year towards the end of the season at Willamette last year. I didn't get a chance to talk to those guys a lot. What he did display, though, was a lot of patience.
Yes.
In that race with Slover, and he set him up. He sat back there and kind of poked his nose in, showed some color, and he
made his way up there.
And did a heck of a job of driving that 5 car. And him and Slover. Now, Slover won the dash. So Slover was pretty excited and thought he was going to get up there and take that trophy home that night. And Titus had other ideas. That was a great race.
It made for some great racing.
It did. One of the better races of the night.
You talked about you didn't know what Cotage Grove's car count was. I remember sitting up there in the tower and I counted what driver profile sheets we had. We had 54 and I believe a few more came in after that.
Yeah.
Jody Tanner came in. Jody Tanner was another one that was started deep in the field, and he made his way up there.
And he pulled double duty with the street stocks.
He did,
and the Sportsman.
And that's Jody Tanner style.
It sure is. He's always fun to watch. So.
Yep. I believe that's a new body on that car as well.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Didn't
the
even
same
have paint
old...
on it. It's duct tape for numbers, which isn't Jody Tanner.
No.
He's always got a decent looking car.
He does.
Moving into the street stocks, which I thought was probably it truly was the race of the night.
Where are we at here?
We had street stocks was, I mean, what a race, because we saw Kevin Roberts, David Kronk, those guys in qualifying.
Yeah.
We knew in qualifying when they rolled out, this is going to be a shootout.
Yep.
This is going to be a shootout, and Kronk
won
the dash.
The dash was okay.
Won the dash. Both of them won their heat races.
Okay, right.
Heats. Remember that?
Yep.
So Kronk was looking for a sweep.
Yeah, he was. And it looked like he was going to do it by the way that car was hooked up to begin with.
And then Roberts broke out of traffic and caught him, and there was some racing.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what happened, but Kronk slowed.
Yeah.
And I think he pulled off.
What the heck happened to our pit reporter?
Yeah, or he must have been in the Moxie Tower. So. As fast as Kronk was, Roberts was that fast too.
Right. He didn't appear to be at first, but he turned it up.
Well, Kevin started back there a ways.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know what happened. He maybe it was the redraw. It was because of the redraw.
Okay.
He started back there, and he moved his way through the field. And when he got to the front, and him and Kronk were racing, I thought, oh, this is going to be the race of the night, hands down. And it was.
It was up to that point.
Up until the point where Kronk broke.
Right.
And I hope it wasn't a motor. I didn't see any smoke, though. That's the thing.
I know.
It didn't look like a blown motor.
It didn't appear that way.
Right.
Hopefully everything's okay with the car.
Hopefully it was something simple as ignition or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Unfortunate for Kronk, because he was fast.
Yep.
And
it's going to be one to watch.
Oh, always is.
Yeah.
Always is. And then you had, Roberts drive away to the win. When he drove away,
Yeah, you just put her in overdrive, and away he went.
That was a statement.
Yes, it was.
Because they even had a late race caution, and there was nobody had anything for him.
Now, let's see. Was Roberts down at Bakersfield? Was they down there? They weren't down there, were they?
No.
They were at Vegas. But then he did a bunch of racing in Arizona and all that.
He, that 88 was bad to the bone. And
I just got a text from Joel. He said it was a motor.
Oh, it was.
Lost a rocker or a push rod.
That's unfortunate.
That's on Kronk. Yeah.
That's too bad. See, I didn't get any info on that because...
We'll have to get Joel pulling double duty out there with Extreme and pit correspondent.
Joel's kind of one-track mind, though. He's kind of hard to get. You get him to do two things at once, and you better buy a lottery ticket.
So, like drive and text.
Yeah. Well, he's good at that. He's really good at that.
He's obviously listening.
Yeah.
Hey, Joel.
That Street Stocks division this year is going to be...
It's growing.
It's gonna be tight. I'll tell you.
Super Sports are growing too, though.
Super Sports grew a lot.
Yeah.
That Super Sport.
Yeah.
We saw, Doug Elkins came out first time, and it was his first time in the car.
And he had a brother, the very first practice we ever had, that we had there, first and only, that was there.
Yep.
So he'll be coming more often.
Yep.
I don't know what happened this past weekend, but anyway, all the divisions are growing.
Yeah.
It seems.
Which is good. It's good.
That's a good sign.
One thing that's
Super Sports Street Stocks.
Street Stocks. One driver that I thought did a heck of a job. Given the circumstances, they got caught up in some wrecks, had to drive their way from the back a couple times, was Little Miss Mackenzie Lockhart.
I'm just sitting here signaling you. 22?
Did you watch what she did?
Oh, my gosh. She was phenomenal.
She got caught up in
Did you see what she did when we were up in the flag stand?
I did.
That girl, you just wait till I see her.
Oh man.
No, she put on a great show. Unfortunately, she had a couple of mishaps. 2 flat tires, I believe,
on the right front. Both of them were the right front, and she was in the top 5 both times.
Right. She was kicking butt.
I think she was 4th on the second one that happened, and unfortunate night for her.
Oh,
but
very.
She made a statement
She
too.
did.
She's somebody that here's a kid we watch. She's only 18 years old.
Right.
And she's coming.
She can drive.
She can.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the in-car footage.
I've seen some stills.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty much the same thing we saw from the flag stand.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It's a good thing she's got a sponsor to get her some new tires. And
tough night.
She's going to be fun to watch.
Lost 2 right fronts, but that whole street stock series, it was awesome. I thought that was that was just. But again, I'm one of those guys, and I love the late models. Obviously,
I do too.
love all the racing, but the street stock, just the value of the entertainment that they put on is just—it's different.
Yeah.
And these they go door to door.
Yeah.
They put a bumper on each other.
Yep.
You can't do that with the late models like they do, but not like the street stocks do.
Right.
I mean, now if we would have had Justin Evans out there on that track,
and what the heck happened to him?
He stayed home with a birthday party of his, or I don't know, some silly.
I
guess he stayed home to celebrate a birthday, like that's
some family thing, I imagine.
His birthday.
Yeah.
His own.
Justin, we missed you out there, bud.
Had his family out there, and old Al, his car owner, and Monty from Monty's Racing Engines, and they sat around the campfire and sang campfire songs, roasted marshmallows.
Yeah. There were still a few cars that weren't done. I know Justin's is ready, so we'll probably see him out there this week.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
There's quite a few cars that stayed home, if you will.
Well, and that's because they're looking at the skies going, I don't know.
Right. Didn't want to make the trek. And, Any of the late model guys that stayed home were probably going, I knew it. But
Grove had 80 cars that timed in.
Wow.
Yeah. Great start for them.
That's a heck of a car count.
80 cars.
Yeah.
We had 56, 57, I think it was.
Somewhere in there.
We ended up,
Yeah. And that's not bad for us for the first race.
Well, and again, where we're at, we're watching those skies. Like we just said, a lot of drivers said, I'm not going to risk it.
Yeah.
And we saw them out there watching the races, but didn't bring the car because I don't know if we're going to get this off or not.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, everybody did, but the late models.
We'll be getting into that a little later in the show, too, and it may be the same way this weekend. Who knows?
Absolutely. I hope not, but
I hope not, too.
We're taking a look at it. So, can you believe we're an hour in already?
No way.
We are an hour into the show, and I think right now is a great time. Take a little quick little break.
Okay. Time for me to do a couple laps.
Yeah, we'll move into the second segment when we come back here from the Jetstream Aqua Massage Studio. And we'll talk about some of the other happenings and some of the upcoming deals and what's going on here in the Northwest. And we've got all kinds of stuff happening tonight. We do have a caller on our segment for the high-octane diecast hot pit segment.
Yep.
We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But we'll be right back here in about 4.5 minutes here on Northwest Dirt News.
Do you wake up in the morning in a slump? Looking for a new career or change of pace? Well, let Northwest Trucking Academy be your source. Dave Stahl and his team of highly experienced instructors will give you the skills you need. Whether you have no idea what the brake pedal is or you just need a refresher course, Northwest Trucking Academy will give you a customized training program to meet your needs. In as little as 4 weeks, you can be on your way across the country with your new career. Located on Highway 99 in Tangent, Oregon, Northwest Trucking Academy will get you ready for a new, fast-paced, and highly rewarding career. Give them a call at 541-248-3461 or look them up online at nwtruckingacademy.com. Classes start the first Monday of every month, and don't forget to use promo code MOXIE. That's MOXIE, and receive $100 off your tuition.
Jetstream Aqua Massage, located in the Heritage Mall, is your answer for the relaxation you've been looking for.